I'm doing the storytelling people, and although I'm not the official host and introducer until they show up, we are being recorded at present, so I will conduct myself okay accordingly. I'll be telling stories for children. My name is Norman Perrin, and due to the magic of the internet, I brought my own flying carpet behind me that allows me to travel around the world and tell stories. And Louis, I know that you have magic ears. You hear stories from all over. So I'm looking forward to telling stories. So I'll wait until to see if Alistair has is joining us either as a host. Alistair, are you there? Alistair, who's neither here nor there, somewhere. We all know where you are, Louis. You're still
Hello,
muted.
Norman. I'm here. I am not the host, I'm afraid.
Okay, no, I didn't know
I
if you
just,
were
I
or
just,
not.
I just came along for some stories.
Oh, here's John. I was just filling some time, bridging the time.
Anyway, hello, Louis. Hello, Norman.
Oh,
How are you, Norman?
um, well, a bit of rough patch this morning, but I'm feeling a lot better right now.
Good.
I love your background.
Yeah, it's a Flemish painting of a village in Belgium in the winter.
Mm.
Well, farm. Sorry, farm, not a village. A farm.
Oddly enough, my brother has a photograph somewhat like that.
Oh,
Well, I think the resemblance is not quite accidental. It's wintertime.
yeah.
Bare trunks up into branches, kind of. But the difference between my brother and this picture, David's picture is a photograph.
Well, David's picture is probably closer to reality because this one has suspiciously high hills for Belgium. Well, for Flanders, anyway. Flanders is very flat.
Mm-hmm. Although the high hills of Belgium before the giants got to walking back and forth.
Until they started stomping across the north of Europe. Yeah,
Yeah, uh-huh. They
yeah,
didn't like the wet bits in between, so they stomp, 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 stomp.
yeah.
A little known story.
Well, do you see that there's a message from John saying he can't put his camera or his sound on at the
Oh,
moment?
I'm sorry, I didn't see it. Yeah.
Yeah.
My eyes don't read that as well. I'm going to read it now. Okay. Can't get vid and voice working. Okay. John, could you give some instructions on the note on the chat? Then I can know whether or not to continue and start storytelling or not. I guess John's still working on the video and getting that to work. Okay. Well, I don't see any reason why I can't start storying because there's Despina,
As soon as
and I
Facebook is
promised
up, he
her a
says.
story.
He
Hello, I'm
says,
just about to walk my dogs.
Okay.
But very quickly, before I do that, I will do my John Rowe impersonation. So you people just imagine that this gray scarf here around my neck is my actually very... And since we are live, ladies, gentlemen, my beloved King Louis, Alistair, Mike, Walid, our dear John, and everybody who's watching right now, get ready to hear some stories from our further north Canada by our sweet storyteller, Norman Perrin. Yay! Take it away, Norman.
Thank you, Despina. Okay, well, a lot of stories of people have traveled to Canada, and with those people traveled a lot of stories. And one of the stories, which has become one of my favorites, is a Grimm fairy tale. And since I was originally started telling it to groups of children, I gave a part for each animal to the children, and the more the merrier. Sometimes I would have as many as 40 or more children all contributing to the story. But it all starts at the beginning. The beginning was a old donkey who was working on a farm. And in the spring, the donkey would haul the plow back and forth. And in the summertime, water would be carried to the field to water the fields full of potatoes and carrots and turnips. And then in the spring, the farmer would load a big cart full of the carrots, turnips, and potatoes and take them into market. And that was a very hard-working donkey. Now, I do not know if it was because, well, maybe the donkey was a bit tired and a little bit old, and the cart was a little bit heavier. But when the donkey went to pull, the cart didn't move. The donkey went pull, and the cart didn't move. And the farmer took a stick and he whacked that donkey, and the donkey pulled, and nothing happened. And the farmer said, that donkey's getting too old. Too old to work. Time to send him down to Bremen town, and there he will be turned into glue. When the donkey heard this, glue? After all these years of hard work, they're going to send me to Bremen town to be turned into glue? No way. And the donkey kicked and he kicked and he kicked and he kicked at the harness, and the harness broke, and the donkey was free. And the donkey went clip clop, clip clop, clip clop down the road. And then donkey stopped. Oh, here I am in the great wide world, and I don't know what I'm going to do. What am I going to do? I know. I've heard that in Bremen town they like singing. And singing, they'll throw money and gold at me. And I've got a fine singing voice, but I need a song. And so the donkey paused for a moment, and he came up with a song, and he went down the road singing, I'm going down to Bremen town, my fortune for to find, and if I'm clever and if I'm bold, I'll find a treasure of shining gold. But Louis, what did the donkey really sound like? Because he was a donkey. The donkey went, hee-haw, hee-haw. And so they went clip clop down the road, and then the donkey came to a sheep in the middle of the road. And he stopped and he says, sheep, sheep, what are you doing in the middle of the road? And the sheep says, it's a sad story I have to tell. For many years, I've given my wool to the farmer. He sheared me and took the wool and turned it into yarn. But this year, he said, my wool is too thin, and he was going to turn me into mutton stew. And I don't want to be mutton stew. And so here I am in the great wide world, and I don't know what I'm going to do. Have you got a singing voice? Asked the donkey. Singing voice, said the sheep. Of course I've got a singing voice. And the sheep took a deep breath, and this time the sheep went, oh, beautiful, beautiful, said the donkey. Just what we need for our Bremen town musicians. And a tenor, by the way. And so they went clip clop down the road singing, we're going down to Bremen town, our fortune for to find. And if we're clever and if we're bold, we'll find a treasure of shining gold. But what they really sounded like was, well, they came to in the road, and there was a dog in a ditch. And the donkey stopped and he said, "Oh, dog, what are you doing down there in the ditch?" The dog looked up from the ditch and said, "It's a sad, 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 sad story. I have been protecting the farm that I lived on for many, many years, and I chased away the wolves. I chased away the robbers, but now my teeth are gone and my joints are stiff, and the farmer took a stick and he drove me away from that farm. And here I am in the great wide world, and I don't know what I'm going to do." And what do you think the donkey asked the dog? "Have you got a singing voice?" And the dog says, "Yeah, I got a good singing voice. Every full moon I howl." He says, "Well," donkey said, "then give us an example of your singing voice." And the dog jumped out of the ditch, shook its tail, took a deep breath, and the dog went, "That's just what we need," said for our Bremertown musicians, said the donkey. And so the dog joined them, and they went clip clop down the road singing, "We're going down to Bremertown, our fortune for to find. And if we're clever and if we're bold, we'll find a treasure of shining gold." He sounded like it was, "Hee haw, yeah." Well, as they went clip clop down the road, they came to a cat, and the cat was sitting on a fence post. And the donkey stopped. And he says, "Oh, cat, why are you out here in the great wide world sitting on that fence post?" And the cat looked down from the top of the fence post and said, "Well, not that it's any of your business, but this morning I jumped to catch a mouse and I missed the mouse. And the farmer says I'm getting too old to catch the mice. And he took me and he was going to drown me in a barrel of water. And I kicked and I scratched and I bit and I got away from that barrel of water. And here I am in the great wide world. And I don't know what I'm going to do." "Have you got a singing voice?" asked the donkey. "Of course I've got a singing voice," said the cat. "I'm a cat." And the cat cleaned its whiskers, licked its tail, and then took a deep breath and went, "Meow." "Oh, that's beautiful," said the donkey. "Just what we need for our Bremertown musicians, a soprano. And so you shall join us." And they went clip clop down the road singing, "We're going down to Bremertown, our fortune for to find. And if we're clever and if we're bold, we'll find our treasure of shining gold." And then, as they traveled throughout the day and the sun was going down, they came to the near the forest, and at the edge of the forest they saw a rooster. And they asked, and the donkey stopped and he says, "Rooster, why are you out here in the great wide world, standing there with all your tail feathers dribble drabble in the dust?" And the rooster stopped and he said, "Well, I must tell you that, well, this morning I had a bit of laryngitis and I lost my voice for a short time. And the farmer said, I'm going to turn that rooster into rooster soup. And when I heard that, I ran away. And here I am in the great wide world, but I don't know what I'm going to do." And the donkey said, "Have you got a singing voice? Did you get your voice back?" "Oh, yes," said the rooster. And he shook his wings and he dusted the feather off his tail feathers. And he took a deep breath and went, "Cock-a-doodle-doo." "Beautiful," said the donkey, "just what we need for our Bremen town musicians." And so they went clip clop down the road and into the forest. And there in the forest, it was dark and it was scary. And they crept together, looking around, and when suddenly they saw a light. And the donkey said, "There's a light ahead. And where there's a light, there's people. Where there's people, there's food. And I don't know about you, my friends, but I am starving." And so they came down the road and they came to a beautiful house with light shining from every single window. And Donkey went up to the door, was about to knock on the door, but then he said, "Stop, my friends. We are not beggars, we are buskers, and we are going to sing for our supper. So I want every single one of you to sing your best. Take a deep breath, and we will get the reward that we deserve." And so all of the animals, the donkey and the dog and the cat and the rooster and the sheep, took a deep breath, and they all went, meow. And inside, the people who were inside heard that sound. They were a group of robbers, and they thought that every monster, ogre, and troll in the forest was outside their door trying to knock it down, and so they ran. They ran out the back door. They ran through the windows. I mean, they went through the windows. And when it was silent, the donkey waited. No one came out, and so they opened up the door. And they explored, and they found a room full of food, said the donkey. "Let's eat." And they ate, and they drank, and they drank, and they ate. And because this is a fairy tale, they also drank the beer and the wine that was there as well. And when they were finished, they went exploring. And they explored, and they found one room full of silver coins, another full of diamonds and jewels, and a third room full of gold, said the donkey. "We have found our treasure, or our treasure has found us. And so we are going to stay here because it doesn't look like they have left it for us. I don't see anybody around." So that's what they did. They settled down in that house, and nobody ever came back to reclaim their house. And so they lived in happiness and joy. And at the end of a long day of work, of course, there's always something to be done. They would sit around and a blazing campfire outside, and the donkey would go tap, 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 tap. "Now, my friends, let us sing our song." And they all took a deep breath, and they would sing, "We're going down to Bremen town, our fortune for to find. For we've been clever and we've been bold, and we found our treasure of shining gold." And may each one of us find our own treasure at the end of our road, as the animals did a long time ago. And speaking of treasures, there's John Rowe.
Glad to see you, Norman. And that was a magnificent story, as always. Nice to see you, Louis and Alistair, and Despina's walking her dog, and Mike Faculty, and oh no, there she is. And thank you for being me at the beginning. I was having technical problems, extraordinary technical problems. But right now, Norman is not having technical problems. He's telling wonderful stories. Have you got another story for us, Norman?
Well, let's see. Rummage. Oh, there's another one right there. So, and this is the one that I've been wanting to tell for a long, long time, and it's called "The Mouse King of the Mice of Japan." Now, once upon a long time ago, there was a mouse king in Japan. He was the mouse king of all the mice of Japan, and he had a beautiful young daughter, Princess Mouse, who was about to get married. She was old enough. And so he called to his daughter and said, little daughter, it is time for you to get married." "Yes, father, I know it is time to get married. And I've gotten you the proper husband for you to marry." "And what is that?" asked the little Princess Mouse. "Why, it's the most important and powerful being in all the world. It's the sun." "What?" said the little, "Yes," said the Mouse King. "Without any doubt, I know what to do. I know what to do. I know what to do. Without any doubt, I know what to do. My daughter shall marry the sun." And because all the counselors happened to be nearby, and they had seen Gilbert and Sullivan, and they knew how to sing along, they sang, "His daughter shall marry the sun." "Oh," said the little Princess Mouse, Father, it would be indeed wonderful to marry the sun, for it shines upon all of us on days when it is we need sunlight and plants need the sun to grow. But you know, Father, how can you be sure that the sun is most important and powerful being in all the world? Because you see, clouds cover the sun. And if clouds cover the sun, does that not make the clouds more important and powerful than the sun? King thought about that for a moment or two. And in the third moment, he thought, "You're right! Without any doubt, I know what to do. I know what to do. I know what to do. Without any doubt, I know what to do. My daughter shall marry a cloud. His daughter shall marry a cloud." Oh, Father, a cloud, a great fluffy cloud which sails across the sky. It'd be wonderful to be married to the cloud, but doesn't the cloud turn into rain? And if a cloud turns into rain, doesn't that make rain more important and more important and powerful than the cloud, which is more important and powerful than the sun? King thought about that for another moment or two. I said, "You're right. Without any doubt, I know what to do. I know what to do. I know what to do. Without any doubt, I know what to do. My daughter shall marry a cloud. His daughter shall marry a cloud." Oh, Father, did I just get this sequence wrong? And the king says, "Yes, daughter, you did get the sequence quite wrong. Isn't it the rain you're supposed to marry?" "Yes," said the daughter, "the rain." Well, the king says, "I'm not going to sing that chorus over again." But the daughter says, "Okay, Father. Well, it would be wonderful to marry the rain, because you see, the rain uh, makes everything grow. It soaks into the ground and it disappears. And if that's true, doesn't that make the rain, which is more important and powerful than the cloud, which is more important and powerful than the sun, which is more important and powerful than anything? Doesn't that make the rain the most important and powerful being in all the world?" "You're right," said the Mouse King. "Without any doubt, I know what to do. I know what to do. I know what to do. Without any doubt, I know what to do. My daughter shall marry the rain. His daughter shall marry the rain." And Roger said, "Oh, Father, it would be wonderful to marry the rain, but I must tell you something. The rain soaks into the ground and disappears. And if the rain soaks into the earth, doesn't that make the earth the most important and powerful being in all the world? Because it is stronger than the rain, which is stronger than the clouds, which is stronger than the sun. Doesn't that make the ground the most important and powerful being in all the world?" "You're right," said the Mouse King and the mice of all Japan. "Without any doubt, I know what to do. I know what to do. I know what to do. Without any doubt, I know what to do. My daughter shall marry the ground. His daughter shall marry the ground." And the little daughter says, "Oh, Father, to marry the earth itself, the thing that sustains us all. We walk around and walk upon it, and that would be a wonderful thing. But you know what? Trees grow from the ground. They grow up against the very pull of the earth itself. And if a tree can grow up into the sky against the very pull of the earth itself, doesn't that make the trees more important and powerful than the ground, which is more important and powerful than the rain, which is more important powerful than the clouds, which is more important and powerful than the sun? Doesn't that make the trees the most important and powerful beings in all the world?" "You're right," said the Mouse King of all Japan. "Without any doubt, I know what to do. I know what to do. I know what to do. Without any doubt, I know what to do. My daughter shall marry the tree. His daughter shall marry a tree." Now, the little daughter smiled. She says, "Father, indeed, it'd be wonderful to marry the tree, but you know what? They cut the trees down and they cut them up and turned those trees into houses. And doesn't that make a more important, powerful being than the trees, which is more important and powerful than the ground, which is more important and powerful than the rain, which is more important and powerful than um, the clouds, which is more important and powerful than the sun? Doesn't that make the tree the house the more important and powerful being in all the world? And the king said, "You're right. You shall marry the house." And then his little daughter said, "Father, it would be wonderful to marry a house because that's where we mice live. And we mice wander around anywhere we want. We can nibble and gnaw and make our way anywhere we want to, from kitchen down to cupboard, down to cellar, to the ceilings, up into the attics. We little mice can go anywhere we want. And so does that not make the mice the most important and powerful beings in all the world, which is more important and powerful than the house, which is more important and powerful than the tree, which is more important and powerful than the ground, which is more important and powerful than the rain, and more important and powerful than the clouds, which is more important and powerful than the sun? Does that not make the mice the most important and powerful creatures in all the world? You're right. You're right, my little daughter. And so you shall marry a mouse. Without any doubt, I know what to do. I know what to do. I know what to do. Without any doubt, I know what to do. My daughter shall marry a mouse. His daughter shall marry a mouse. Sung by a very relieved chorus of Counselor Mice. Well,
Thank you. But
Father,
we
I am
all
so
know,
happy.
we all
And
know
so,
that the most
Father, I
powerful.
shall marry a mouse. And I've already met a nice Prince Mouse, and he has proposed to me, and so we shall marry. And they were married. They lived happily and after in happiness and joy. And they had many mice children to wander around the house, and they always had that song to sing. Thank you.
Thank you, Norman. And my apologies for predicting the end a little early. But we all know that really the most important person and powerful person in the whole world is King Louis himself.
Yes, Louis, you've been helping with this story. So, Louis, I have one more story. This one's for the story's for you. And thank you for helping me with the donkey sound earlier, because you always need a good hee-haw in the story of the Bremen Town musicians. This story was put together by my friend Silly Lottridge. It is a story from, well, almost this time of year. And when Little Mouse was digging in the fall down deep into the earth into a nest. And there, while the winds blew snow and ice over the land, Little Mouse slept. And I'm not too sure if Mouse snored, because if he did, it was such a quiet snore you couldn't hear it. Louis, what do you think a mouse snore would sound like? A quiet one, a big one, a huge one, a tiny little mouse-sized snore?
Quiet.
Yeah, okay. Well, the mouse, as Mouse was sleeping, spring came. And as the sun shone, the snow and the ice melted, and it went drip, 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 drip through the earth and landed plop on Mouse's nose. And Mouse went, "Achoo, achoo, achoo!" And when Mouse woke up, he says, I smell grass. I smell flowers. I smell spring." And Mouse dug out of the ground and up to the great wide world, and there was the beautiful sun. And Mouse said, "Time for an adventure. Let's go exploring." And Mouse ran down, and he came to a small river. And there, by the river, he found a little boat, just about the right size for a mouse. And he says, "I need a paddle." And nearby, there was a little children's shovel. And he said, "This will be my paddle." And so the walnut shell as a boat and the paddle, shovel as a paddle, little mouse went down the river. And he said, I'm going to start singing myself a song for my adventure. And said, He thought about it for a moment, and this is the song he came up with. My little boat is a walnut shell, wah, wah, wah. My little paddle is a garden spade, way, way, way. And suddenly Mouse saw some children on one side of the river, and the children saw Mouse, and they said, Hey, Mouse, we're having a picnic. Why don't you come for a picnic? And Mouse said, Depends. What are you having for your picnic? We're having a scoop of soup. A scoop of soup, a scoop of soup, a scoop of... No, I don't think I want a scoop of soup. I just want to go down the river and paddle and sing my song. And so he began to paddle once again. My little boat is a walnut shell, wah, wah, wah. My little paddle is a garden spade, way, way, way. When suddenly Mouse saw some children on the other side of the river, and those children saw the mouse. And when they saw the mouse, they called out, Hey, Mouse, we're having a picnic. Why don't you join us? Well, it depends. What are you having for your picnic? We're having a dish. A dish of fish, said the children. A dish of fish, a dish of fish, a dish of fish. No, I don't think I want a dish of fish. I just want to go down the river and sing my song. And that's what Mouse did. My little boat is a walnut shell, wah, wah, wah. My little paddle is a garden spade, way, way, way. And then suddenly in front of Mouse, there is a bridge crossing the river. And on the bridge, there was these children who were running over the bridge. And when the children saw the mouse, they said, Hey, Mouse, we're going to have a picnic. And he says, Picnic? Yes. Why don't you join us? Well, it depends, said Little Mouse. What are you having for your picnic? And the children said, We're having honey seed cakes. Honey seed cakes. Yes, said the children. Honey seed cakes. I love honey, said Little Mouse. I love seeds, but most of all, I love honey seed cakes. Give me 10 of them. And so while Mouse paddled to the shore, the children took 10 honey seed cakes. They put them on a leaf and gave them to Mouse to eat. And Mouse ate them up. Gobble, gobble, gobble. 1, gobble, gobble. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Do you think you're going to eat them all, Louis? 9. And his belly was out and round like a drum, and he was about to eat the 10th honey seed cake, and the children said, Stop, 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 Little Mouse. If you eat that last honey seed cake, you're going to pop like a balloon. I don't care, said Mouse. I love honey, I love seeds, and most of all, I love honey seed cakes. And he gobbled it down, gobble, 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 and he ate it, gulp, and he went pop. Ow, 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 went Mouse. Oh, 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 went the children. Mouse, we told you, and we told you, and we told you that you would pop if you ate the last honey seed cake. But they took poor Little Mouse, and they took some bandages, and they wrapped the bandages around and around and around and around. And then they took the walnut shell boat and they put it into the water, and they put Mouse into the boat, and then they took the paddle and put it beside Mouse. And the water rocked Little Mouse back and forth, and they knew their songs. Wah, 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 way, way, way. Wah, 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 way, way, way. And Mouse was soon fast asleep. And then when he was feeling much better, he woke up. He said, I am feeling much better now, and it's time for me to sing my song again. And so Mouse took the bandages off, took his paddle, and he jumped, paddled down the river, singing his song. My little boat is a walnut shell, wah, wah, wah. My little paddle is a garden spade, way, way, way. And he disappeared down the river. But I'm told if you happen to be walking down that river to this very day, you will hear Little Mouse. And if you hear Little Mouse, you know that he is still on his great adventure. And may we have many good adventures like Mouse did on that wonderful summer. And may you have lots of adventures too, Louis. Thank you for being such a good listener.
Thank you so much. That's amazing.
Amazing. You are indeed amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And may you continue to be amazing for many years yet.
Mm-hmm.
There's so what have we got coming up? I mean, you've got 5 minutes if you've got a 2-minute story, Norman.
Oh, okay.
You don't have to go away. We'll make you a
Okay,
cup of coffee.
I have a short story that can be very, 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 very short.
Fantastic.
Okay. There was a grandmother who had a granddaughter living on the other side of the forest, and she didn't like her own cooking very much. So she would get thinner and thinner and thinner and thinner until one day she realized, I'm pretty thin. And so I'm going to go visit my daughter who loves to bake, who loves to cook, and I'm going to get fat. And so she did just that. She went across the forest. And on the way across the forest, she met a wolf, and the wolf jumped out at her and said, I haven't eaten for days. I'm going to eat you up. And the grandmother says, You can't eat me. I'm nothing but skin and bones. I'm going to go to my daughters. I'm going to eat and eat and eat and eat, and I'm going to get fat. And when I come back, you can eat me then. Okay, said the wolf, I'll wait right here. And so the grandmother kept on walking along. And as she walked along, she met a fox. And the fox jumped at her and said, I haven't eaten anything for a month, and I'm going to eat you up. And so the grandmother said, well, you can't eat me because, I'm skin and bones. You might choke on one of my bones. No, I'm going to my daughter's. She's going to feed me, and I'm going to eat and eat and eat, get fat. And I'll come back and you eat me then. Fox said, okay, I'll wait right here. And so the grandmother went along the way, and I'm going to just cut an animal out for time's sake. And says she came to her daughter, and the first thing her daughter said, Grandma, you look so skinny. Have something to eat. I just made some pilau. And so they sat down and they ate and they drank and they drank and they ate and they ate and they drank. And to make a long story short, in no time at all, she was pretty fat. And then said, well, I guess it's time for me to go home, said the grandmother. Oh, Grandma, I'm so sorry, but, well, you have to go back home. And here's something to eat on the way back. And then my grandmother says, oh, no, remembering the animals she had to meet, the fox and the wolf. I promised they would eat me when I got nice and fat, and here I am nice and fat, and I don't know what to do to get across the forest. Well, that's easy, said the daughter. I've got a magic drum, and you fit yourself inside of this magic drum, say the magic words, and it'll roll you along right through the forest past those nasty animals. Said Grandma. Okay, then. So she fitted herself very, very carefully. Told you she was very fat by this point. And she fitted her way into the drum, and then she began to sing the words she was taught. And these were the words. Tee-tie, tiddly-tum, here I come in my magic drum. Tee-tie, tiddly-tum, here I come in my magic drum. And boom, 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 she went rolling across the yard and into the forest. And the first animal she met was the wolf. And the wolf said, and he was scared by the sound of the drum, so he just let it go by. And so the grandmother sang again, louder than ever. Tee tie tiddly tum, here I come, my magic drum. And then came to the fox. And there the fox saw the drum and singing, and he said, I've never heard of a singing drum before. And the fox picked up the rock, put it down, and the drum hit the rock, and kaboom! It hit the rock, and fat grandmother popped out. Ah, said the fox, just what I wanted, meals on wheels. Prepare to be eaten. Oh, said the grandmother. Okay, well, I did keep my promise, but just a second, I could use a drink of water. And so she went over to nearby pool. She drank, she drank, she drank, and she drank, and she drank some more. And she waddled over to the fox, and the fox opened up his jaws wide, and the grandmother let all the water out and went into his mouth, into his eyes, and into his ears. And the fox was sputtering, and while he was sputtering, the grandmother jumped into the drum and sang once again, Tee tie tiddly tum, here I come, my magic drum. Tee tie tiddly tum, here I come, my magic drum. And she was able to get out of the forest and to her home. When she got out of the drum, she when she remembered what that fox looked like with water in his mouth, water in his eyes, and water in his ears, she laughed so hard that 3 buttons popped off of her dress. Pop, 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 and the buttons hit the drum, went boom, boom, boom. And that was the end of the drum. And that's the end of this story.
Whoa.
I was
Well,
really, I don't know what time it is right now, but I was really shortening that story.
no, yeah, it's perfect. It's perfect. There's 2 minutes to go. We've got time to announce what's coming up. We've got let me have a look in the in the words. I know who's up next week. We have next week is Baba C. So, no, please, Louis. Louis loves Baba C. We all love Baba C.
Yes.
So, and then
John, that could be a special
then
birthday present for Lewis because he's 17 on Wednesday. So that could be his birthday present that Bubba C comes and tells him stories on Friday.
fantastic. Well, happy birthday for you for next Wednesday then. Let's see, what have I got here? Mayor Ganatra the week after, and on the 1st, and the week after that, we have the first ever, I think. Let me just make sure I'm not getting this wrong. That's March the 1st is Mayor. And then on the following Friday, we've got someone we know very well. On March the 8th, we have I don't know whether she I can't think of who it might be. Dispinner. Right. Who did such a fine job as me when I was having technical problems. But this is more important, after Baba C on Friday, on the 25th, I think it is, which is if Sunday is the 25th, we've got a worldwide story round. So everyone can be on that. Everyone can come and tell a story for Sunday the 25th. So until next Friday, very well, we will start Young Tellers again, but probably not on a Tuesday because there's problems with people being up for school the next day. We might do it when we get it going. There's computer problems over in Marrakesh. But once they're sorted, we may resurrect it, maybe do a 5 o'clock on a Friday before the stories for children, which I think might work. But I've got to think about that. I've got to ruminate on that. But right now, wherever you are, whoever you are, whatever time of day it is, have a wonderful week. Louis, have a wonderful birthday.
Thank you so much.
And Norman, a big round of applause. Let's have another round of applause for Mr. Norman Perrin.
Woo! Woo!
Thank you
Thanks,
very much, everyone. Bye-bye.
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 Bye.
Bye.